Hey guys, this is Jonathan, what I call it attraction. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you understand attraction. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is alpha males. The biggest misconception today about alpha males is that alpha males are a-holes, that they are jerks and pricks, and that all they do is, they're controlling and yelling and swearing at women and being really aggressive, and just mean and kind of do whatever they want, don't inconsiderate, don't care about anyone else, narcissistic. What else are the different traits that are connected or well known with alpha male? These are all of them. There's probably more that you guys can talk about. Just put it in the comments, let me know. But there's so many different ones that we could go with. The problem is, when you hear about an alpha male, these are the definitions you get. It's like, oh, an alpha male is an a-hole, he's a this, he's a that. And it's everything that has a negative connotation, everything that has that's considered derogatory. So, we hear often that alpha males are, if you run across a guy, he's like, yeah, I'm alpha, which I don't know why a guy would say that, I'm this or I'm that, because one, you're disqualified by saying that you are something, and what I mean is, like, you're in a social setting or a public setting, and you're going along and you're talking to somebody in person or something, and for whatever reason you feel that it's like you want to validate the other person. You want to validate them by announcing that you're an alpha male, announcing that you're an alpha, as if that will get you some cool points with that person. And so you're looking for their approval, men seeking approval seeking men, right? And so, but it's terrible. And so you got these guys who be like, oh, well, I'm alpha, and it's like he has something to prove. Guys like that are not alpha, actually. These are guys that maybe they want to be alpha. They want to be, this thing that they think they know what it is, but they don't really have a clue about. But they have a misconception of what it is. So when people usually hear that term, they're like, oh, alpha, you're an alpha, so you're an a-hole. You don't care about no one's feelings. You're narcissistic. You only care about yourself. They name all this stuff, and I want to tell you guys, that's not a real alpha. So now the alpha male, this derives from the pack dog mentality, in the animal world, where, they had this pack, and there's always this one, this one top dog, that by his actions, he proved to be the biggest and the baddest, and all the other dogs fall in line behind him, and he's kind of the leader of the pack, and he's dominant. He's the most masculine, the most dominant, and he goes after his prey, and he gets the what do they call it? With the prey, he gets the biggest amount, so he may take however much he wants, and he'll leave the rest for everyone else. So he establishes himself as the leader, as the top dog. This is where the word alpha come from. This is where it derived from, is the notion of how pack dogs work. And this is in the animal world, by the way. So in the human world, somewhere down the line, I could get into the history of it, but I don't really care to. I'm gonna just break it down simple for you guys. But somewhere down the line, humans had this bright idea. Hey, I want to be like these pack dogs, and I want to be the alpha. I want to be the leader. Or not that I want to be, but acknowledging that in human nature, that everyone is either the leader or they're the follower in this pack. So they're either the alpha or they're the beta, you know, and their actions and characteristics, it determines which one they are. You know, the fight or flight response, it determines which one they are, you know. So that's what humans figured out long ago, and they would put it into practice and determine who's who by that kind of test system. So now, because the alpha is dominant, the alpha is masculine to the core, what happens is you got guys who get super jacked up, you know, taking maybe a bunch of steroids, or some who could be natural and super jacked, and they're aggressive, you know, and these are guys who choke their women and beat their women and, you know, think they're just the toughest guys on the planet, you know, and they're pricks, total a-holes, you know, very narcissistic, and they call themselves alpha. They consider themselves to be alpha, but that's not a real alpha. A person who has the real alpha mentality, yes, he's a leader, he's a lead, but he's not narcissistic, he's not out for himself. You know, yes, he's dominant, those are his natural traits, but he doesn't use that to run over everybody else just because he can. That's not the real alpha. The real alpha is the balance between the two extremes. Now, what are the two extremes? The two extremes, the extreme on the left hand is being passive aggressive, which you're basically, instead of speaking up for yourself, you do it in a subtle way. You know, you beat around the bush. You don't really say, you're not direct, you're being indirect. That's what passive aggressive is. And that's considered to be a pushover. You allow people to speak to you in any kind of way, disrespectfully. You allow people to run over you and, you know, hurt you and harm you and disrespect you without any consequences. And you just simply take it and you allow it. That's a pushover. That's one extreme on the left. The other extreme on the right is aggressive, being too aggressive, and basically aggressive and insecure, because that's what these so-called modern day alpha males, that's what they are. They really insecure, and this is why they think that they have to be the biggest jerk or the biggest, you know, the toughest guy in the world. A real alpha isn't about that. A real alpha is calm, cool, collect, assertive, and he actually thinks before he acts. He doesn't just make moves on a whim. You know, high value male traits are assertive, not aggressive. He's not forceful with women. He's not forceful with men. Can he protect himself and his family? Of course he can. But will he go out looking for trouble? No, that's not what he's about. But this is the modern day fake illusion, faulty version of what an alpha male is. So the extreme right is aggressive. So between those two extremes, the very middle balance is assertive. That's what you call assertive. And assertive is to be confident. It's to be sure. You know, it's to be dominant, direct, yet not aggressive and not a pushover, but still handles his business. That's the perfect balance. And that's what a high value male is. He's assertive. The real alpha male is assertive. The real high value male is assertive. He's not aggressive with men or with women. And so for people who have this misconception, this is the biggest misconception on the planet. And this is why I don't like using the term alpha, because it has this negative connotation on it. It has this negative reputation that comes along with it. And so real alpha males are not aggressive and controlling and, possessive. That's when you're possessive and controlling, that's an insecurity. You're not high value when you're that way. That's low value. That's scarcity mindset. That's not abundance mindset. So these people are confused, and what they're doing is they're mixing and matching, and they're going around and they make it known their behavior is erratic and neurotic, and they go around doing all kinds of insane nonsense. And when people say, man, what kind of person are you? They yell out, oh, I'm an alpha. Oh, I'm an alpha male, and I'm bigger than and it's just all this rah, 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 rah. That's not a real alpha male. This is a insecure punk who thinks he's tough and thinks his anger and his aggression equals validation. His anger and his aggression equals high value. No, it just equals you're really a muscle-headed simp. So these guys are a disgrace. I don't have any ties with them. I don't use the word. I usually use high value male, but a high value male and an alpha male is the same thing. But of course, within its true form, not the fake, faulty, ferocious form that people are using nowadays. But the real form of what it is, they are synonymous. So that's what a real alpha male is. If you like the content in this video, please like, subscribe, share, and remember, love inspires, endures, uplifts, and bears all things.